Hey traders, in this video I'm going to be covering just a technical analysis. We're going to go back to the charts right now. For the last few videos I've been doing more fundamentals, big pictures, news announcements, so on and so forth. But in this video it's going to be based just on technical analysis and what the actual charts are saying. We're going to look at the Dow Jones, the S&P, Nasdaq, also the mining stocks, maybe a few other stocks that are out there as well too, and just to give you my sort of the technical analysis view of what the market is telling us. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, before we get started, make sure you click on that very first link in the description, and that's going to take you over to a free training where I'm going to walk you through my number one trading setup that I use when actually looking for an amazing setup. If you're this setup here is so powerful that when you identify it has a probability of making an explosive move, like a really big move, and you'll be able to see that. So very first link in the description, or maybe the first comment there, I've pinned it at the top. Anyway, let's have a look now what's going on right now with the Dow Jones, the Sp500 and the Nasdaq. Let's actually bring up a blank chart through here. And I'm going to bring up, say, 1 year worth of data. And the very first thing that I see when I look at this chart over 1 year is this. The very first thing I see is that we are continuing to make these higher lows in here. So we are making this low, higher low, higher low. We're still making a higher low through there right now. And we are overall still stepping up, as you can see. So, and we're right at a trend line right now. So it's really interesting to see what's going on through the Dow Jones. I also can see that there back here was also a significant level of support in the markets all back through here. So we can see that right now we're bouncing off. And if I bring it up, say, the last sort of 6 months, we can see where the Dow Jones is right now. So if the Dow Jones holds and we start to break up a little bit, and we start to get above this sort of previous high through here, let's go. So if we start to get, say, above this sort of high through here, then what's likely to happen is we're likely to probably scream up to an all-time new high, which again sounds crazy, guys. I know, like, I'm seeing all the bad news out there, but you know, right now, this has nothing to do with fundamentals. Like, look at Tesla, by the way. Nothing to do with the fundamentals. What this has something to do with is just the Fed, really. And it's the Fed. If the Fed's going to keep buying this up, then no doubt the market's probably going to make an all-time new high. But with that being said, guys, just keep an eye on that moving forward. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. And we will have a look at there. We're looking at the last sort of 1 year worth of data once again. We still do have this gap that's probably likely to get filled. This level through here is the gap. And if you see, once again, looking at the S&P 500, we can see that it has made a low, sort of a higher low, a higher low, and a higher low. We're still overall stepping up, and we're at this sort of level where we are when it comes to this gap level through here. And we're still squeezing up with this trend line. And if I go and have a look at, say, my last sort of 6 months worth of data, you can see how, I wouldn't really call it a triangle pattern. The previous high is definitely just that point through there. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we did start to make a run for it, or should I say continue to slowly make a run for that all-time new high period. So it's really interesting to see what's going on through here, guys. We're almost at that all-time new highs once again, which is just crazy, I know. But let's just flow with the market. Let's follow the market, and we can just go through there. So right now we're still overall stepping up. We would need to see, guys, a break below this 3,000 level to see a complete trend change. A complete trend change. Just like back over here before the good old virus situation, we had this low level through here, then we rallied up, and then we broke that level. That was the level that started to see downtrend. If we're going to start to see that, we need to see a break below 3,000 level. Until that happens, we're still in a pretty nice upward trend, and I wouldn't want to be fighting that. Moving on now to the Nasdaq, and look at the Nasdaq once again. The Nasdaq, indeed, that's actually the previous high. Let's take that off here. The Nasdaq is still just in a very nice upward channel. And once again, if I bring up my last sort of 6 months worth of view, Nice little high lows, high lows, high lows all the way up. And now we're just holding through here. And so the way that the Nasdaq's working, the way that's what's been happening, I wouldn't be too surprised to see the Nasdaq continue up from here. Now, if it does break this sort of support level, if I look at the moving average, we're very, very close to the moving average. If we do break this level through here, we're probably likely to go to the moving average. That being said, if I look at the last sort of couple of months worth of data here, I can see how we've actually had this sort of a double top resistance, and now we're actually making a bit of a double bottom support. And now we're holding through here. So to me, guys, I wouldn't be too surprised to see the Nasdaq break up. Yes, we're in a big, massive bubble with the Nasdaq, but the way that things going, we compare this to 1999 bubble, and when you squeeze this chart up, it's like, man, this thing's crazy, isn't it? We haven't really had a good time phase or a good resting phase for a while. But in this situation here, we could probably see even more of a melt up that's happening right now if the Fed wants to. Moving on now through to, let's go have a look at once again, last 1 year worth of data. Let's go have a look at the GDXJ. So the GDXJ is continuing to make a very, very, very nice move to the upside, as you can see. If we have a look at the weekly charts here, let's actually see where it's probably like at a bit of a pause. We can see that there is a strong level of resistance, possibly through that around that $70 level. As you can see, look, support, then it became resistance. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see it actually run up through there. We are definitely making a very, very big move, as you can see, very, very, very big move when it comes to the GDXJ. I've always said to my private clients, by looking at this weekly chart, if I squeeze my weekly chart up, I've always said to them for the last sort of probably 12 months or more that the GDXJ is one of those sort of stocks, ETFs, that I truly believe that this whole movement, this whole nothing going on since 2014, and now we're just breaking out, I truly believe we're going to see some fireworks, especially in the GDXJ. So we are seeing a very nice up move now. For me personally, I would like to see a very nice pullback so we can then jump on that trend if you're not involved with that right there. So a very nice pullback would be would be good to see a jump on this, and I definitely do see probably over the next couple of years a move probably up towards 170 level there on the GDXJ, and also the GDX right now is also breaking out, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see this above all-time new highs when it comes to the GDXJ as well. Looking at moving over to the silver miners. Silver miners are much more harder to sort of gauge. The GDXJ is my favorite out of all of them because that's giving me that big sort of base there, which means if we go back and have a look at the GDXJ, when you get this really good sort of basing pattern through here, when it does this, that's a powerful pattern, and that screams fireworks here over the next couple of years. So I'm not in the GDXJ right now, but now we actually are breaking out. I'm waiting for a good pullback so I can jump in on it and ride that sucker for the next couple of years. Moving on through to the SILJ, we can see that there's probably something going on through here where the market is going to find a bit of resistance somewhere probably through there, maybe even a bit higher. And also the SILJ, we can see that it's right at that level, getting very, very close to that level right now as we speak. So that level there, possibly even just slightly a bit higher than that. That whole area through there is definitely indeed a resistance level. And we're at that level there right now. So all the mining stocks, silver and gold as well too. If I look at this here right now is the gold level. We'll just continue to blast straight through. And also silver level. Silver is actually pretty much right at that resistance level. Man, that's silver crazy, isn't it? So I do see, guys, we're probably likely to see some form of a pullback soon out of these markets here. And as I've said in my previous video, guys, don't FOMO into any of these things here, okay? Wait for a good opportunity. Just wait for a good pullback. There will be a good time to pull back, okay? Just wait for a nice good dip if you want to buy into it. Always have good risk management in place. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to looking at all these indices in the S&P 500. Nasdaq's still strong. And it just looks like, guys, that a lot of these markets, everything apart from dollar, is going through the roof. But looking at the dollar has been very, very weak. We are getting into a level of, there is lots of levels of support where this long level of support through here. But we also have this level coming on through probably around that 25 level, somewhere through there. And if I bring up my trend line once again, so probably something going on through there, I would say. So I'd say this level through here where we are getting close, we're getting close to that level through there. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we did get a bit more downside in the dollar, then we're going to find a bit of a bottom and we're going to see probably a very, very strong rally. Not a rally up through here, but I definitely do see a rally going up. If we do get a bit more downside through here, this is going to be X marks the spot where the support levels are, around the 25 to 24.75, looking at the UUP. And so, it does look like we're probably likely to get a very nice, strong, sharp rally out of this here, guys. I do see this overall bear market continuing with what's happening with the printing of money. But with that being said, guys, when that happens, then we're probably likely to see, especially silver, guys. Silver is a wildcat, so don't be FOMO into that silver market, because silver is one of those markets, it could take your head off real quick. Yes, we're going up through here, but I've seen days that have gone up 10%, and then the whole thing completely retraced the next day, okay? So just be smart around your trading. I do see more upside coming. I do see, once again, guys, out of all these markets through here, silver, long term, if I look at my weekly chart on, silver, if I look at my weekly chart here on silver, we're getting right at that resistance level here right now, guys. So don't be too surprised to start seeing this thing getting absolutely just smashed and creamed on a short-term basis on a pullback, to see this thing start to pull back a little bit. But I do believe the big picture here is that we've just started this is an explosive move, although explosive move to the upside, where if we do get a nice pullback, which would be good. I'm already in silver long term, but I'd like to jump in on some more. So I'm personally waiting for a bit of a pullback before I can jump on this, because I definitely do see the silver getting to its all-time new highs. And then also the GDXJ, once again, is that one that to me is also great as well too, for very, very, very long term. Short term, we're probably going to get a nice pullback, which is good for that there. But over the next 2 years, silver and also the GDXJ are probably going to be the ones that you hear the most, especially when the GDXJ, the mining stocks they're already starting to pick up. But I think the fireworks and the fun in all these markets has just begun.